Hi, good morning. Oh, a little grumble in my throat there. How are you? Happy Tuesday. How the frick are you? Have you had a good summer? Have you been summering? Do you summer? What was that TikTok that was like, oh, I hate doing that where I'm like, what was that thing where, God, I can't remember it. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about house parties. Okay, because lately I'm like, oh, I just really want a house party. I don't want to do it. I had thought for my birthday, I was like, would I just throw a house party? But then the stress of like, oh, I don't want to bring like different groups of friends together. And I also don't like people wearing shoes in the house. So that's a big one for me. And I don't want to be the person to be like, take your shoes off. My good friends know that it's a shoes off house. And then sometimes when people come to the house, they come in the door and they go, oh, this is the shoes off house. You know, there's like a vibe. Mine is a shoes off house because I'm not a freaking animal. It's about comfort and joy. Okay. So that's another reason. But then I got a steam cleaner. Guys, tell me you're in your 30s without telling me you're in your 30s. I bought a steam cleaner and I love it so much. Oh my God, I love it so much. It's kind of crazy. You can steam the floors, you can steam the shower, you can steam the windows, the toilet. It's crazy. So I guess now that I have a steamer, I could be like, well, I can throw a house party because we're not 17. And the only mess I need to clean up is like if someone spills a drink on the floor or the shoes, you know. But as I said, the stress of like you're bringing different friends, and then also what if nobody shows up, and then like somebody that you're kind of friends with, but they come and then you're like, no, I swear, like my friends, I usually have friends. It's just too much stress. It's way too much stress. And also the cleanup, you know what I mean? And then also, okay, these are my arguments. I'm going to present to you and you tell me whether I should throw a house party or not. My arguments against it is just me being particular. My arguments against throwing a house party are shoes in the house, bottles. I don't want to lug all of those to the bottle bank because the bottle bank is so far away from me. It pisses me off. I don't want them storing up in the house. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, I would kind of worry about the neighbors, but no, not really. So that's 2 reasons. And then people there are carpets on the stairs and yeah, so the shoes in the house is a big, and then you know if you ask somebody to take their shoes off and then they have stanky feet, that's crazy. Like how do you navigate that? I did that once. Somebody came over and they took their shoes off and I was like, oh my God, that's way worse because then the stinky wet foot juice is like on the floor. I can't. I have a nose like a bloodhound. My whole family does. I'm a scent snob. And I can't hide it. I'm getting worse. I'm getting way worse. We were on the bus recently. It was during the heat wave. Like, I'm sorry, but anyway, it was during the heat wave and it was like a, and this is my face. If you're watching, I was like, I can't help it. And then the mysterious boy was like, you need to stop doing that because somebody is going to punch you in the face because it's rude. And I was like, I can't help it. I can't help it. It's the gift I was given. I can't help it. Okay? Anyway, so I'm a bit of a snob. That don't impress me much. So those are my against house parties. But my pro is like, I'm just thinking, you know, I have no kids. I'm young. I don't want to pay so much money to be drinking in the pub. It's so expensive. Then I get the taxi home, blah, blah. Wouldn't it be fun? And I love hosting. I love making a playlist. Making playlists is one of my favorite things to do. Okay, it's morning time. It's breakfast. You give people over. I'm going, what's the vibe? Or friends staying with you. Dinner. What's the vibe? You're trying to gather everyone's personalities. You're also trying to set the mood. So I love creating a playlist. You know what used to really annoy me? I had an ex who used to hog the playlist at house parties and then would like not let a song finish. That is my pet peeve. Let the song, and we'd all be like, stop doing that, and he would be skipping. It's like, you're picking these songs. Why do you let them play for a minute? So nobody would be allowed on the playlist except for me. Not that I have loads of friends, but I've made more friends this year. Isn't that so cute? So I kind of would love to have a scenario where I throw a big party. But you know, when you have new friends, you're like, is that like, are they then thinking, oh my God, she's like, why, this is weird. She's doing that. And then we have, I don't know. Maybe I will. I'll think about it. Maybe like an end of summer house party. Okay, leave it with me and you're all invited. That's not true. So I want to talk about the house party because we need to bring them back. Are Gen Zs having house parties? I think of house parties and I reminisce fondly. In school, we had many a house party. The school I went to was kind of like, the stories I tell to my people, my friends who grew up in Ireland, they are like, it sounded like you went to a high school, like what you see on TV. And yeah, I guess it did. We had some crazy stories. And some of my favorite memories are from house parties because, my God, they were so fun. And it's always like, I never threw a house party in my parents' house because I respect my parents. Okay. Because I knew it was like, whoa. And I've seen it. I saw it happen to too many of my friends where they would be like, oh, my parents are out of town. Yeah, I'll throw a house party. Because then everybody would come. News would travel. Everybody would come. The house would be trashed. Absolutely trashed. And there was 2 girls in my year who they were great house parties. And they were grounded for like their whole rest of the year. But like, they did it for us, you know what I mean? They sacrificed themselves. And they went down in history. There was one particular house party. God love her. We had, in our second last year of schools, there were like the January exams. And our last exam was on like a Wednesday or something. And then we had to come into school on a Thursday. Or maybe the last exam was Friday, but we had to come into school on the Friday. But there was like nothing to do. We just had to be in school. So she threw a house party because I think people peer pressured her into throwing this house party because her parents were away. And we were like, somebody else should throw a house party. And then she did. And well, didn't word spread? And didn't every Tom, Dick and Harry show up to her house? And I remember at one point, somebody was getting sick. My friend was getting sick in the kitchen, in the sink. No, sorry. I think he got sick on the floor, on the ground, on the floor, in the sink, in the kitchen, on the table, whatever. And we're cleaning it up because he's my good friend. I was cleaning up the sick. I was helping clean up, and then I took the what I thought was a dishcloth, I picked up a white rag, wet it, and wiped out the remainder of the vomit, rinsed it out, put it back on the sink. She comes back in. My Hollister cardigan. Yep. Me. Oh my. Who would do that? Oh my God. Not the Hollister cardigan. Did not know. I just saw a white thing. Didn't see the little red eagle. Used her. Yeah. It's not my finest hour. And then it just got out of control. We're a bunch of 16-year-olds. It was crazy. More and more people kept arriving. Somebody like threw a bike into a bush. That's what I remember, because the next morning, we all stayed over. Everybody stayed over. And the next morning we were leaving because we all had to go into school. And her mom arrived that morning, and to a bunch of teenagers leaving her house. And she, rightfully so, flipped. And I remember me and my friend were leaving, and he was like, we were all leaving, and he was like, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much. And he was really genuine. And she was like, no, get out. And we were like, oh my God. It was crazy, but so fair. Like, if I had kids and they did that, oh my God, I would lose the plot. And then another friend of mine threw a house party, and her mom, I think, arrived back. I don't know, something crazy. And again, kids are crazy. Teenagers are crazy. It's like our first bit of fun. And then this was the era of Skins. So we all had been watching Skins and all those kind of shows. So we were like, and this was in Belgium, so like you could legally drink at 16. We thought we were invincible. So we would have these big crazy house parties. And I miss them now. I want a fun house party. Can somebody just throw, somebody who has an amazing house, can you throw a house party? Because I love, oh my God. Okay, I'm going to tell you my 3 favorite house parties of when I was in school, because oh my God, my legs are so soft. I shaved my legs with great care and they are so soft, because usually I shave them with no care and they are stubbly. So like, this is kind of, wow, kind of love. I'm going to talk to my top 3 favorite house parties of when I was in school. So some people we went to school with had a different economic background to the rest of us, let's just say that, and it was like Gossip Girl. So one person had a heated pool in his garden. His parents did, obviously. And I just remember how much fun me and my friend had, because the dad had a cigar room. So I would at these house parties, the most fun I had was like me and my friends finding some random room and just being in that room, not disturbing anything, not wrecking the place, but just like having a laugh in that room and just like seeing the house. That was so fun. So this guy, his dad had a cigar room, and it was the fanciest shit I ever saw. Okay. And they had a heated pool. This was bougie. And we were like 16. It was like somebody threw a house party, and the parents were there. Like the parents were there, which is kind of very European, if you ask me. That the parents are like in Mean Girls, like, yeah, I'm a cool mom. Yeah, of course you can drink. Of course you can go in my heated pool. So that was fun. For the cigar room. That was entertaining. And then my second favorite was the end of exams party. And then that same girl threw a great Halloween party, which was a lot of fun. Nothing in particular happened, but just it was fun. And then picture this. In my last year of school, our last ever exams, big party. I had gone for lunch with my friend after our last exam. And I remember went home, had a bit of a dodgy stomach. And my mom was like driving me to pre-drinks, and she was like, now just be careful, Sadhbh, because you haven't eaten much today, and you know, you've been under a lot of stress with these exams, so don't go mad. I was like, yeah, I know. Duh. And then went for pre-drinks with the girls. Remember pre-drinks? What a crazy thing to do now. If I had pre-drinks now, I'd be like, are you mad? Are you insane? The most I can have now is 4 drinks, and I am dying the next day, and I'm also locked. Like the most I could have is 4 pints, like, and that is, she's litty titty. 5 if it's a heavy night. Like back in the day, it was like when I was in college, I'd have a bottle of wine for pre-drinks, a naggin for pre-drinks. My go-to recipe for college, for university, was I'd have a bottle of €3 wine from Tesco. Do you remember that? Like they had I can't remember the brand, but they had a red version and a white version, and it was like some nondescript like Spanish wine, and it was €3. I would drink a bottle of that, and then I'd have 4 Sol, because you could get 4 for €15. And Sol were like similar to Coronas, and I'd be litty titty, and I'd be totally fine, no bad hangovers. In my first year of college, I'd have a naggin, and then the four. But I don't like vodka. You can't control the drunkenness you're getting. Whenever I drink vodka, I'm like, I'm not drunk. I'm not feeling this at all. I'm not even tipsy. And then the next day I look back, I'm like, whoa, girl, you were crunk. So I like beer. I love Guinness. Because you can monitor what's happening. Actually, I want to segue for a second, because I just remembered last year, me and my 2 girls, we went to All Points East, and for my birthday, we wanted to see Cleo Sol and Salt, and we had the best day ever. However, we woke up with such extreme fear, because nobody at the festival, I'm not saying you have to drink or take drugs, but the vibes were on the floor. Everybody was like, we woke up and we were like, oh my God, were we like, I feel like the whole festival was like, oh my God, those drunk Irish girls. We were having fun. Yes, okay, we were drunk, but we are also very chatty, very loud individuals. And oh my God, the amount of people at one point, right, one of us We're all locked and we all kind of like separated, but we always find our way back, okay? And I was sitting there and I was like, I am not missing this gig. I am staying right here. And a girl tapped me, is your friend okay? I was like, yeah, she's grand. She is a woman well into her 30s. She knows exactly what she is doing, my pal. And this girl's like, really young girl, is she okay? She needs water. I was like, yeah, she's grand, whatever. And then she went off. My friend went off. And I was like, she's fine. She's fine. Because we have a system. We know, guys, we were safe. We have been doing this a long time. And then I was like, okay, well, now everyone's looking at me, so I'm gonna like move to the front, like move somewhere else in the crowd because everyone's looking at me thinking I'm a bad friend. But I was like, I'm here to see the music. They are totally fine. Didn't know where they were, and they weren't with each other, but I was like, we're fine, like whatever. And then of course we found each other. We didn't even have to look for each other. I just went wandering. I went to the bathroom. So they were both together. We all found each other in the end. But so many people were like, yeah, she's not okay. Oh my God, she's, because my friend, you know, she tripped over, whatever. We were having a laugh. We were all laughing as we were leaving the venue, and it was really busy. And everyone, I'm not even joking, everybody had something to say about my girls, and we were just, I was getting so annoyed. I was like, guys, we're at a festival here. We are functioning, walking, talking human beings. Like what? And everyone, and even one guy behind me was like, that's why I don't drink anymore. I was like, oh, shut up. Like, and it was my responsibility to get us home. I lock in. I tell you, I at my best, most confident, strongest, sharpest is when when it's up to me to get us home. When everybody is drunk, even if I am drunk, I sharpen up and I'm like, I am never more present. I am never more focused. My senses are never more high alert than in those moments when it is up to me to get us home. I am fighting for my girls. I am telling you to back off. I know how to get us. I'm taxi, holding on. I know exactly. I have eyes at the back of my head. And on a day-to-day basis, I don't. So I come into flow state in those moments when it's up to me to get us home. Anyway, so I just thought of that because I don't know why I thought of that. Just beer. Oh yeah, because we're drinking a lot of beer that day. Anyway, but then I didn't feel so bad because I honestly we woke up with such fear, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like somebody was like, oh yeah, at one point I was queuing for food. We all were like, okay, let's separate. I'm going to get chips, you get the, and then whatever, you get that. So we were all at different food stalls. And then I was just standing behind this couple, and then she was like talking to this guy. She's like, sorry, can you just back up to me? I was like, yeah, I'm just standing behind you. Like I literally was just standing there. But she thought I was standing too close, I guess. And I don't know, I wasn't doing anything. So that just gives you the vibe of the day. But then we were like, had such fear that there would be like people recording us or something and putting us on TikTok. We weren't being outrageous at all. It was like, everyone was like sort of just really quiet and really serious and just looking at us being like, what the hell? Like we were just having so much fun, and we're loud individuals. But then I didn't feel so bad because I did see TikToks the next day being like, what was wrong with the crowd? Why were they being so miserable? So that made me feel better. But anyway, so back to the story, guys. Come on, pay attention. My mother dropped me to pre-drinks where we pre-drank cocktails. Crazy. And we the invitation was such and such person's white party, as in white clothing. Okay, so you're already getting a vibe of the clientele we're working with here. Huge, we walk up, huge house, huge, like mansion. Anyway, the last thing I remember was gunning a beer and knocking it back. And then it's all hazy. When I gave my friend my digital camera, and she took loads of pictures of the night. So looking back, I was like, oh, I feel like I really got a vibe of like what everyone was up to. I was still there. I just had to, had to sit down for a minute, let's just say that. And my friend, so funny, she was also drunk and was dragging this big bottle of water, like huge, whatever, many liters of water across the garden. And by the time it got to me, it was empty. And that's love, guys. And my friends were all like, they're all standing around me. I was so drunk, having a little snooze, and they were like singing to me. And then I came back around, and I was great. So that was my first experience of that. But I was always good. I was always the good, responsible friend in school. But that was another house party because, oh my God, I just remembered there was also another girl in my year who used to throw house parties as well. She was the first, and it was so exciting because this was like, we were like, oh my God, it's like we're in Skins, and we had glow sticks and like teased our hair and took loads of photographs on our digital camera. And it was like the first time we had free reign of a house, and it was a huge house, huge gardens, like loads of places to go. And then she invited the whole year. That was so exciting. And I just think, and then another girl in my class used to also throw house parties in her, like a little disco in her basement just for our class. That was so fun. Again, glow sticks, music, so exciting. I want to do that. So bring back the house party. Can somebody do that? Okay, let's make a deal. When I am rich and I own a huge house, I'm going to be throwing the best parties. I'm going to throw the best goddamn parties you've ever seen. Because I love a party. It's nice because you can relax. You can sit in so many places. You can go outside. You can go inside. You can snoop around the kitchen. You know, you can snoop around the bathroom. I love looking at people's bathrooms. I don't go into their cabinets. Okay, that's crazy. But I just like to see a bathroom. I like to see a kitchen, you know? And then you can just wander around. You're not stuck at a table, stuck in conversation. That's what I like about a house party, is you can just move around. If you don't like conversation, you can just move around. Whereas if you're seated at a bar, you can get stuck with dodgy conversation. And also, like, when is it that you organize for everyone to be in the same place? Because as you get older, you just go for quiet drinks with your close group of friends at a bar, usually at a local. And I just want a bit of excitement for one night and one night only, where somebody just throws a big house party. So can somebody make that happen? Because I don't want to do it. I want to arrive at the house party. I don't want to be the hostess. But alas, there's a housing crisis. So nobody can throw house parties anymore. Unless they're renting. But if they're living with their parents, you can't be throwing a house party when you're in your 30s living with your parents, trashing their house. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. I wish somebody could do a study on. Somebody should do a study on house parties. Do Gen Zs party? Are house parties a thing? Are pre-drinks still a thing? Okay, guys, I hope that was fun, and thank you again for listening, and I hope you have a great week. Love you.